Okay, so part B of question 3 of this 2019 paper is a probability question. So here we have a table that shows the number of players in various age categories for both Australia and New Zealand, and they're male rugby players who have represented their country in matches. So we've got 110 in total. All right, so they've got them spaced out in terms of their age: 21 to 25-year-olds, 26 to 30, and 31 to 36-year-olds. So the first thing that you need to do is make sure that you add up all these countries. Okay, so add up all the numbers that are involved here. Okay, so all the players that play for Australia, it doesn't matter about their age, we're going to add them up. Okay, so to add them up, we would go clear 14 plus 16 plus 16 equals 46. So we've got 46 Australians. And New Zealanders, we've got 20 plus 24 plus 20, 64 Kiwis. Add those two together just to make sure that, yep, we've got 110, as they told us. Okay. All right, now adding in the downward direction, how many 21 to 25-year-olds do we have? So 14 plus 20 is 34. 16 plus 24 is 40, and 16 plus 20 is 36. Okay, so we can add those up as well. So 40 plus 36 plus 34 gives us 110. Good, so that just confirms that they add up in both directions. All right, so first question says, what is the probability that a randomly selected player was Australian and aged between 26 and 30 years old? All right, so what is the probability that we've selected a random player and they happen to be in this age group and Australia? So we're basically we're picking out of the total, we're picking out of 110, and there are 16 Australian players that are between that age group. So the probability would be 16 over 110. And then if we put that into our calculator, that is going to give us 0.1455. So a nice and easy achieved question for that one, just as long as you've got your table all sorted. Okay, I'm going to go on. So what is the probability that a randomly selected player from New Zealand was aged between 21 and 25 years old? Okay, so notice that the wording of this one is slightly different. What is the probability that a randomly selected player from New Zealand? So we're not picking from the whole pool. We're only looking at those that are from New Zealand. Okay, so we're looking at 64 players in total. And we want to know what the probability is that that player was aged 21 to 25 years old. So there's 20 New Zealanders that are aged between that out of 64 in total. And that will give us a probability of 0.3125. Now this one is a little bit trickier. Okay, so because you're not picking from the overall group, you're only looking at the New Zealanders, and the wording is a little bit trickier. So that is a merit mark. There's no achieved marks for that. It's just a straight merit. Okay, so what is the probability that a player chosen at random was Australian and aged between 21 and 20 years old, or was New Zealander and aged between 26 and 30 years old? Okay, so we're picking them from random from the whole group again. So both of them, let's look at the first one. So the Australian, 21 to 25-year-old. Now there is 14 Australians between 21 and 25. Okay, so 14 out of 110. All right, and because we're picking this from random, that it has to be out of that. Now it says or, so or means, well, we're also considering, so we're adding the probability that we're selecting a New Zealander aged between 26 and 30. So there's 24 of those, so we're considering what's the probability of that happening as well. So we're picking either one, so we're adding the probability of the Australian to the probability of the New Zealand, and that is going to give us a total probability of 0.3455. So if you get one of these correct, if you get this correct, or if you get this correct, you could get an achieve for that. But together, adding it together will give you the merit.